The Boston Celtics are up 2-0 versus the Nets. Brooklyn finds themselves in a must-win situation going into Saturday's Game 3 matchup at the Barclays Center. New York Post Nets reporter Brian Lewis joins us to talk about the series. And Brian, let's jump straight into it because, Kevin Durant is 13 of 41 from the field, including 12 turnovers in the first two games. What does Steve Nash and the Nets need to do to get KD going?
Well, I like that you put Nash first because, there have to be some coaching adjustments made here. Obviously, Kevin's the one that everybody's going to look to carry the team and to make the shots. And some of the players, some of the ancillary players, the Bruce Browns, the Patty Mills, the Seth Currys, those guys are going to have to have better motion off the ball. It's not necessarily about making shots. It's about spacing the floor better to create space for Durant, because there's been a guy just sitting on the nail, basically right in the middle of the lane the entire series. And that's not going to change until those guys space the floor and create room for Kevin Durant to work. And that's what Steve Nash is there for. That's why he's paid. So he's the guy that's going to have to make those adjustments, he and his staff.
They're going to have to make those adjustments because the Celtics, like you said, are being very physical with Kevin Durant. It is the NBA playoffs. And speaking of physicality in the playoffs, Ben Simmons hasn't played since last year's playoffs. It gets physical in Boston. Is going to get physical with the Barclays Center. Will Ben Simmons make an immediate impact for this team if he does play Monday, Game 4?
Depends on how you're defining impact. If he does play Monday in Game 4, yes, I think his defense will be useful, even if you're giving him 10 minutes or so off the bench, 12 minutes, 15 minutes off the bench, because those 10 minutes, as we've seen from Game 1 and even to some extent Game 2, matter. In the playoffs, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds can matter. But I think we should temper our expectations if we expect him to walk out on the floor and play and start and play 35 minutes and be an all-star caliber player instantly. I think you should temper your expectations for that. But 5 to 8 to 9 good minutes can make a difference in the playoff game, as we've seen already in this series.
Yeah, we'd like to see where he's at right now. Rehab speed is different than game speed, and game speed is slower than playoff speed. So we got to see what that back is going to hold up. Brian Lewis, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, anytime.